Do you know what? Anxiety, avoidance, more anxiety, avoidance, even more anxiety, avoidance. That is what happens when you don't tackle your anxiety. It gets worse and worse and worse and worse till things that didn't used to make you anxious will make you anxious. And it's because you're avoiding it. Keep putting something off doesn't mean it's going to go away. It's like putting off a bill. Just say you owe a £200 debt. No matter what you do, you still own that debt. Whether you close your eyes, whether you move country, you still have a £200 debt. And it's the same as anxiety. You always have it, but every time you avoid it and think it's not there, all it's going to do is grow. And it's the same with your debt. You owe £200, so you don't pay it. You get interest, 210, 220, 250, 280, 300. And that's your anxiety. Your anxiety may be small. It gets medium, until it gets really big. And that's the thing. It gets to a point where it's so big that you're just there like, oh my God, this can't be solved. Nothing's going to work. But that is not the case. There are ways you can solve it. And one of the keys to first solving your anxiety is to understand that you are avoiding it. That is the first key. You need to realize that you have anxiety. You need to accept it and stop avoiding it. Stop telling yourself that it's going to get better. From what? If you don't pay your bill and you sit there and you look at it, it's going to get better next month. You owe 250. It's going to get better next month. You owe 400. It's going to get better next month. You owe 800. It's going to get... And that's all you keep doing with your anxiety. You're not solving it. You're looking at your anxiety in your hand like the bill on the piece of paper. Just say you're 50% anxiety. It's going to get better 52% anxiety. It's going to get better 54% anxiety. It's going to get better till eventually your anxiety is 100% and it rules your life. Now, the thing is, it used to rule my life. Sometimes it does rule my life, but then I bring myself back. I realize that I am being how I used to be. And I say to myself, okay, no more. And I snap myself back into my new reality. So I'm not saying that you're going to cure your anxiety and you'll be sitting there like, this doesn't make me anxious. You will still get your anxiety come back up. But it's literally almost like your anxiety coming up and you grab it and you put it back in that bag and you think, not today, mister. Not today, anxiety. You're not coming out today. You're not ruining my day yet again like you've done for years. So stop avoiding the fact that you do have anxiety. And remember the difference between anxious and anxiety. You may be anxious at something. Oh, this job interview, it's nerve-wracking. You do it, it's done. And if that's how you react, that's good. That means that anxiety hasn't taken over you. That means you just get anxiety traits of being anxious. But when your anxiety is high or you have bad anxiety, you will think about it before the event. You will think about it during the event. You will be scared during the event. After the event, you'll think, shit, I fucked it up. Even weeks afterwards, you'll still think, oh, I wish I'd said this, I wish. And it's constantly replaying stuff in your mind and you're avoiding what is going on. That's your anxiety. If you have to do something, you have to do it. If you want this job, go for the interview and tell yourself in the interview you can do it. And tell yourself in the interview, if they say to you no, does it matter? If you already have a job and you're going for another job and they turn you down, what have you really lost? Nothing. You have tried your hardest and you have gone to the job. And if you don't succeed, try again. Look how many people try and fail. Even just look at famous people. They always post stories like that. Oh, at 20, I was flipping burgers. 25, I own my own company. 28, I was working in Argos. 32, I was a CEO. Everyone has different times in their life and everyone's gonna have different jobs. Take every famous person you've ever seen. Most of them, if you ever see or hear about them or they tell about their life, they didn't just start off famous. Yes, if you're a kid of a famous person, you're famous. But the people who built their way up to fame, they were a nobody. They worked in Burger King, Primark, retail, Lidl. They worked in all little jobs and like that. And then eventually they got the point of saying, no, I want to be something. I want to do this. Boom, they did it. And I'm not saying all of them were anxious and all of them have anxiety, but a lot of people are held back by the anxieties. A lot of people who you speak to have anxiety for years stayed in this job or that job because they were too scared to just spread their wings and fly. And when they did spread their wings and fly, they realized that they jumped off this cliff and they had the best wings ever. They didn't have these anxiety wings that have no feathers and you just fall straight to your death. They had these big angel-like wings that they flew, and that is your anxiety. You realize, okay, I have anxiety. Okay, I'm avoiding it. Coping mechanisms. And then you grow these angel wings that take you. Just say this is Anxiety Island. It takes you off of it. You don't need to live here no more. You can fly off of it when you stop avoiding the truth, which is you have anxiety. When you stop avoiding that it's going to be there for most of your life. But what I keep telling you is coping mechanisms. Your anxiety can rule your life 100% of the time, or it can rule your life 1% of the time. And that is the simplicity of it. You can either be anxious at every fucking event you go to, or you can have that little moment of anxiety before you go in. It's showtime. And you go and smash it. So yeah, if you do have anxiety, stop letting it rule your life. Stop letting it take over and manifest inside of you and become this bigger thing than it should be. Just crack on with it and learn your coping mechanisms that work for you, and then go into events that would have made you anxious. If it's public speaking, read books, watch YouTube videos, go on Google, whatever it is, go out in public and try it. Do what works for you. You're never going to find a coping mechanism that you go on YouTube, type in coping mechanism, find the first video, and you go, wow, this worked. I don't have anxiety again. It's never going to work like that. But what it will do is it will help you get from that 100% anxiety to 80% a day, to 70, to 60, to 50. And it's not going to be quick. Last year, mine was at 100% all the time. I have built it down slowly to the point where I can do certain things that I never used to be able to do. And when you start to do things that you didn't used to be able to do, it pushes you to do more stuff that you couldn't do. So as I said in my casting thing, I had to speak in front of people, eat in front of people, be on camera, be the center of attention, be the only one speaking, public speaking in front of people. Every single anxiety that I could have possibly had in that one day was thrown at me of everything that I didn't want to do. But what it made me realize was I can do it. And the more you realize you can do, the more you do. So yeah, the more you can do, the more you do.